welcome to Recipe for Revenue. This is Leah Messina from Sinuate Media, and I'm here with Dimitri from G&M Crab Cakes and Restaurants. We're going to chat today about the amazing history of G&M and how they have gone from a restaurant all the way through to an e-commerce powerhouse of a business. And Dimitri is going to share his story with us today and how the family has grown really an amazing brand that is so well known in the Baltimore, Maryland area, but way beyond that. When we started the business in Baltimore, it was one of the first places that we went to go eat, and everybody said, you have to have a G&M crab cake. And since then, and since we've moved out of the Maryland area, we order from them all the time. And I get to introduce everybody to crab cakes here in New Mexico, which is really a wonderful experience for me to bring that here across country. So Dimitri, go ahead, introduce yourself.
That's very kind, Leah. Thank you very much. My name is Dimitri Ieromonahos, one part of the family here at G&M Restaurant here on the outskirts of Baltimore, Maryland. It's my dad and my uncle that started the business back in '93 and took it from an old restaurant that was originally a pizza shop and an ice cream shop, and decided to make it a full sit-down restaurant slash carryout. And with the help of Leah and her team, we've grown our e-commerce presence, and now we ship crab cakes nationwide. And we've been very lucky to have Leah and her team as partners.
Yeah, I remember when I first met John, who's your uncle.
Yep.
Oh, geez. I mean, it was about 16 years ago. I've been in business for 18 years. So I met John, and John and I shared the same birthday. So we've always had a bond that we've shared our birthdays together. But yeah, I'm introduced to him. And then I think the first thing that he had asked me help with was the Facebook page. Can you help us get the Facebook page set up? And then we started helping with the email marketing, getting a mailing list, which, I think at the time was just the customers that were coming in to eat. And then you guys were asking them if they wanted to sign up to receive email newsletters, which back in 2008 and 2009 was pretty new sort of marketing methods.
Oh, yeah. Well, before that, we would go through a list of about 40 phone numbers to fax our daily specials to everyone manually, one by one. We weren't bright enough to create a push one button and send the fax list out. So with that email blast, it took us to a next level overnight.
Yeah. So how funny I didn't know about the faxes. Well, there's not too many people that do fax marketing these days that I could think of, but
except for there's one we keep getting, for office supplies, 2-3 faxes daily.
So hey, they get a customer. It's low cost, I'm sure.
I guess.
So tell me about what it's like working with family. How's that experience been?
Well, I studied finance. My dad, George, he's immigrated here from Greece back in 1968. Oh, wow. And he went to college, studied electronics engineering. So his company ultimately was going to move to Maine after shutting down their offices here in the DC area. He decided there's a Greek presence, Greek town presence here in Baltimore that he didn't want to take myself, my sister, and my mom away from. So he decided to get in the restaurant business. And I studied finance at his request, go to a 4-year college. And but I realized after seeing how life was for him on the road, being an electronics engineer with the Navy, we barely saw him. And I figured finance would probably take me down the same road, locked in an office somewhere in a suit and tie, eating takeout from places like this. Right. If I were so lucky, of course. And I didn't want that because I didn't know what kind of family life I didn't have a relationship back then, but I didn't know what kind of family life I could offer. Right. My future significant other or kids. So I figured I'd get to see my family, my dad, my sister, my uncle, my cousins, and then also have time for a family. Yeah. So that was the motivating factor to stick around with the family business. Yeah. And the fact that it was already doing pretty well was a plus side. But being part of the family and close communication with one another seemed a lot easier to work in this atmosphere than it was with bunch of strangers in an office. So
were they trying to get you to come in, or were you?
No. I actually I'm a big car enthusiast, so I tried my hand in college at selling used cars for a nationwide dealership here in Maryland. and I enjoyed it. It taught me a lot about sales and
Yeah.
building value in a product.
Right.
But ultimately, they were asking too much for a part-time car salesman going to college. So it didn't last long. And I also interned at a bank to see if
Mm-hmm.
the financial field was something I was interested in. And yeah, again, it was an eye-opening experience, taught me some
Yeah.
things, but ultimately decided on my own that stick
Mm-hmm.
with the family business and see where that would take us.
So when you came in, what was your first job they gave you at the
Oh,
restaurant?
my first job, I started working here shortly after my dad and my uncle opened a place. Well, no, they got it in '93. I started working here, I think '96, '97 as a in food prep. Learning not to chop my fingers off while I was cutting onions and peeling potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the summer times I'd bus tables, moving through all the different positions to have a decent handle on what it's like to work in those positions, but also what it's like to work with the people in those positions and what
Mm-hmm.
their job demands were, which is also something that's eye opening because it's if you don't know what everybody else goes through, it's hard to motivate them and work with them. More importantly,
Sure.
to make them a success and in turn make the business a success. So
Right. Yeah, it's really important to understand kind of what their daily motivations are, and so that you can help
yeah,
them in
ab-
their positions.
absolutely.
So who does the cooking at home since you learned how to do all the cooking at the
Oh, my wife,
restaurant?
my wife.
Yeah.
I can't uh, hold a torch or whatever the
Yeah.
saying is to what she can do, and very blessed for that.
Yeah, yes, lucky man. So, how did I always wondered, I know you guys started as a pizza restaurant. How'd you shift into crab cakes and get the
Well,
recognition that you have for that?
so my dad's brother Pete used to work for G&M back in the late '70s, early '80s, and that's
Hmm.
when it was strictly pizza.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it was a sit down, carry out style restaurant before my dad and John, took it over. But it wasn't like a seafood restaurant. It was
Yeah.
more, pastas, pizzas, cheesesteaks, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
John's experience in restaurants was in more of casual dining that we have now. So
Hmm.
out went the booths. There were a bunch of old school booths in the dining room. I remember helping my
Yeah.
dad pull them out before we officially opened, and they went
Hmm.
to normal tables and modified the menu from
Hmm.
that old place. And it just started off kind of the same pizza, pastas, that kind of thing, and a traditional crab cake recipe that apparently appealed to some of our customers, and they started spreading the word. And this was, of
Hmm.
course, before we linked up with your team,
Yeah.
which in the beginning was just you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Started
Yeah,
one
in the
person shop
beginning
and
it was just you, right? So in the beginning it was all word of mouth.
hmm.
So Fran told Gladys, and Gladys told her uncle, and we were very lucky that the word got out that these guys know what they're doing in terms of crab cakes.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of went up downhill, uphill, it
Hmm.
took
Yeah.
off. So it kind of shifted on its own,
Hmm.
which we didn't really have to shift. We were already making that product, and
Yeah.
we just more and more crab cakes, more and more seafood. We still have a lot of great pastas. We still make our own pizza and desserts and that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
we became known as
Yeah, you have a
the
huge
crab cake place.
dessert cabinet, when you
Yeah,
walk into the takeout side of the restaurant. Yeah, it's pretty
yeah.
impressive.
We have a couple of bakers next door losing their mind trying to keep up with the demand, and
Mhm.
we appreciate them. So
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, and you're located very close to the BWI airport. So those that don't know, the Baltimore Washington International Airport.
right,
And so I always used to get a kick out of the people online that would say, "I have to stop at G&M before I get back in the airport, back in the airplane, and head home." Like, I don't know how well they travel. I hope you have a short flight, but or you can eat it once you get on the plane and everybody make
yeah,
everybody else jealous. But yeah, so do you think the proximity to the airport has kind of, in a way, helped spread the message of G&M?
absolutely. It's the old saying that location is everything.
Yeah.
We're right off of two major interstate, well, 95, and then 295, 50. We're close to Annapolis. We're right next to the airport.
Yeah.
Any, we're next to the hotel district here. So we have people from all over the country visiting during the week, and then we have local families coming over the weekend and close enough to the stadiums where people can stop in before or after for a bite.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so very lucky with the location. I don't know if that was the part of the original plan when John and George sat down and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
poked their finger at the map and said, this is where we want to be."
Yeah.
But it's definitely worked to our
It's
advantage.
worked out. So obviously crab cakes are, or what you're most known for, and the biggest seller on the website,
Mm-hmm.
but what are some of
Yep.
the other things that sell really well?
We offer amazing steaks from Creekstone Farms and from other farmers. But we our homemade soup
Mm-hmm.
has been very popular, the Maryland crab and the cream of crab. And we recently started offering our shrimp salad and crab dip on the website that we've been blown away by the response. It's been very successful, and turns out the customers do want a variety of our different products. So, because for the longest time we had a very limited online offering, and crab cakes,
Right.
stuffed shrimp, the soups, and different size crab cakes.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought, why clutter it up? Why offer more than is necessary to
Yeah.
keep it simple for the customers? And but they want more, so we're here to give them more.
Giving more. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, I remember the phone call and saying, "Oh, we're going to start selling steaks and chicken on the website. So come up with some ideas about how to get this out there." So,
yeah, right.
like, I think people will
It's
be pretty excited. So,
right. It's I mean, how do you dress up a steak? A beautiful steak, it's hard to make that as more eye appealing than it already is. But you
yeah,
guys have helped us out with that,
yeah,
so that's great.
yeah. And if anybody's ever seen at Christmas time what your trucks, the delivery trucks, look like when you are packaging all of your boxes in the back there, that's it's my favorite time of year to wait to see what the trucks look like. Just G&M boxes stuffed in the back of all these big delivery trucks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing about the location. We're right next door to FedEx, and
Yeah.
they have a great team over there, and they've been working with us over the years. We went from having their FedEx trucks rotate through and pick up a couple loads a day during the Christmas holiday. Now they actually bring us their full size trailer, drop it off, and we still need to have their trucks rotating through to pick up the excess during that time
Yeah.
period. So
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah. That's really impressive. So when was the decision made to start the e-commerce side of the business? What was that conversation like with the family?
That was I'm pretty sure it was my uncle John. I don't know how he came up with the idea because I don't think anybody else was doing it here in Maryland at the time.
Mhm.
So there was risk involved. How do we ship this stuff? Everybody knows our quality. We don't want to diminish the quality, so
Right.
the decision was made to ship everything fresh. And then how
Mhm.
do we do that? How do we guarantee freshness in a package that made FedEx was still in its infancy. The internet, I guess, was not how as robust as it is today. So, how do we get the word out? How do we keep it fresh to get to the customers? We went through a bunch of different box tests and independent tests to make sure the stuff was fresh when it would arrive. 2 day shipping is not possible with fresh products, so we insisted
Right.
on overnight. Who was the best partner? Luckily, FedEx was around the corner. We interviewed with UPS and all those other carriers, but FedEx has airplanes. UPS has trucks. Airplanes get across the country faster. So, we started off slow, and I mean, we still scoop everything by hand. There's no machinery
Mhm.
involved.
Yeah.
There's, a bunch of people sitting there weighing everything individually to make sure it's all done right. And all the preparation is done by hand.
Mhm.
So, that takes time. And, when you go from a couple hundred boxes a day, which is the typical volume, to a couple thousand boxes a day on the holidays.
Yeah.
We lucky, like I said, we're lucky to have a team back of house, front of house, you guys,
Mhm.
that just kind of all works in symphony to make the dream come true.
Yeah. Do you have to give the staff there like a good motivational speech going into the holidays to be
I
prepared?
we all try to keep energy up.
Yeah.
It's pretty laid back atmosphere over here.
Yeah.
Been working with most of these people for a number of years now, so we
Yeah.
know how to help and motivate each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. So, you know, in this transition from being the well-known restaurant in the area to the e-commerce store, um, we've noticed that a lot of people will have dined at G&M and M and then they go back home and they want to continue to buy from you,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah, we're
yeah,
It's that's exactly how it works. It's once they get a taste from it, and especially if they're out of town,
Yeah.
I've had the similar situation where I go somewhere and I'm like, man, this is amazing. I can't get this stuff back home.
Mm-hmm.
And people call all the time, we're from Florida. You can't get good seafood in Florida.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're surrounded by water,
Right.
but they can't get what they're looking for, and they come to us. And
Mm-hmm.
surprisingly enough, one of our biggest markets is in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
One of the top 10 states is North Dakota. So go figure. I don't,
Yeah. Just yeah, again, that word of mouth aspect though. One person maybe had Thanksgiving at somebody else's house and they ordered from you guys and now they
yeah,
want to put
I
their next
highly doubt.
holiday.
I highly doubt they're scrolling through Facebook and they see G&M crab cakes. I hope
Yeah.
maybe. I don't think that's a concentration we're working on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it, well, either way it works,
Right.
and we're
Right.
happy to have it.
The Florida people are make me laugh too because they're surrounded by so much seafood and water that
Yeah.
they can't find a great crab cake. But it makes me think of in Maryland there is such a uh, dedication to Maryland things and especially the Maryland crab cake. And one of my favorite Facebook groups is Maryland is a cult. It's
Okay.
hilarious, yeah. And so they always are asking, who has the best crab cakes? Where should I go to get crab cakes? I moved out of Maryland and I can't get, they always complain they can't get good crab cakes when they move out of state. And I moved out of Maryland 13 years ago, and I still get
Mm-hmm.
nostalgic, when I see what they post in that page about, everything from, burger cookies to crab cakes. So,
What was that? What was that line? I think it was one of the Vince Vaughn movies where he's like football and crab cakes,
yeah.
something like that. And I always joke around. I'm like, if Maryland has the best crab cakes, we have the best crab cakes in Maryland. Does that make us the best crab cakes in the country? Does that make us the
Mm,
best crab cakes in the world? If
yeah.
I doubt there's any countries over in Europe or Asia that offer crab cakes, but
Right.
it's the whole Miss Universe competition.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't know what else is out there, so we'll take the title.
We'll take it. Yeah. Until somebody complains otherwise, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So, when we're talking to businesses that want to sell online, especially food products, and they don't have a restaurant like you do where people can come in and taste it, that provides an interesting challenge. Like how do you sell something where people never taste before? What are your thoughts on
Right.
that? Or do you have any advice for them?
Man, that's a new one. I have no experience with that. It's you got to add value, which is one of the lessons I learned when I was selling used cars. You got to add value
Yeah.
somehow. So you're going to differentiate yourself with loud marketing, or
Mm-hmm.
differentiate yourself with proving to your potential clients that you offer something more than
Mm-hmm.
the competition. And it's it's got to be a tough balance, because you got to you know your market, I guess. And if I was just walking the street and had a idea that I wanted to take to market, I would know that market. That's where you guys come in. My dad and John always reach out to you, the professionals.
Mm-hmm.
We know how to make the crab cakes. We don't
Yeah.
know how to sell them. The word of mouth thing kind of happened in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how, as far as our arm reached, to take it to the next level, we needed you guys. And
Yeah.
like I said, we're lucky to have you. And that's the difference between succeeding and failing, is
Mm-hmm.
knowing the market and how to get yourself out there with the right information to the customer.
All right. Yeah, and what do you think, I mean, you kind of alluded to it, but that gets people coming back, ordering
Proving
again?
your worth.
Yeah.
Proving your worth. When they see what they see that gets their mouth watering for your product,
Mhm.
if they order it, and you're not going to fool a customer twice. And
Mhm.
if they know your quality, they'll understand if you slip up, maybe. But if
Mhm.
they give you a chance and you fail the first time or the second time, they're not coming back. So you got to keep the quality up.
Yeah.
The whole Papa John's better ingredient, better pizza. If you heard that and you're like, let me try it, and it was just slop on a plate,
Yeah.
you wouldn't go back.
Right.
So prove your worth.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. First impressions matter, and there's this
Absolutely.
small contingency that'll give you a second chance, but you can't count on it. And all, I guess.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, so tell us a little bit more about, thinking about the operations of the e-commerce side of the business. You have a big team in front of house, back of the house. So how do you handle the restaurant day-to-day management, which restaurant life can be pretty chaotic in and of itself, and then you have this, e-commerce piece that orders come in 24 hours a day. So how do you guys balance that?
Yeah, that's very tough. To be fair, the e-commerce side is maybe 20% of our business.
Mm-hmm.
So, you need to give the right amount of attention to,
Yeah.
if you intend to grow the e-commerce side, but also you want to maintain and grow the storefront that you know, we're so lucky to be a landmark here in Maryland. So
Mm-hmm.
we want to maintain that relationship with our customers,
Yeah.
whoever are lucky enough to visit us, or we're lucky enough to host them. Um, it's a tough balance. We can't do everything. That's
Mm-hmm.
why we need you and your team. We need our web developers and their team, which was touch and go for a long time. It took us a
Mm-hmm.
long time to find the right team to build and grow the actual
Yeah.
software, I guess, of the website.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the phone calls keep coming in, and it's
Mm-hmm.
a two person office that most of the time we're out there answering phones for the carry out, or
Mm-hmm.
running to get liquor for the dining room, or
Yeah.
so when we have time, we go back and answer the email questions and respond to phone calls, and try to offer the best customer service on both sides of the field. It's
Yeah.
a balance, it's a dance, and
Yeah.
like I said, we're lucky to have my family, the team here that
Mm-hmm.
all work together to make it happen.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Every it's a, that well-oiled machine, right? Everybody kind of has their role, and you kind of have to jump in where you need to keep the machine going, right?
Oh, absolutely. I got a small collection of tools over here, from different plumbing tools to electrical connectors. Something breaks, one of us has to
Mm-hmm.
fix it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, right. Yeah, just
we're
wear
here.
many hats. I remember early on when the original e-commerce that was being built, there was a lot of work had to go into figuring out the shipping part of it. And you mentioned
Hmm.
like you went through different boxes, and especially with seafood, everything
Yeah,
is overnight delivery, right? So
it has to be. Yeah.
it has to be, right? Yeah, you don't want you don't want your crab cake sitting in the back of a truck for a couple of days.
It's safe. It's safe to do so with the right packaging, and we believe we have that packaging. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was difficult in the beginning. There's We haven't been able to find a turnkey back of the website system e-commerce solution to because it's different weight products, different size products, and that's where the problem was. We have two different size boxes. It had to
Yep.
there was all kinds of custom coding with the old platform that was developed just for us,
Mm-hmm.
and then that old platform went end of life, and it was cost prohibitive to redesign everything. So we looked at a different platform that was online based, um, SaaS. I don't remember what the technical terminology was, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, that was never implemented properly, and that caused all kinds of problems. We returned back to the original online based platform in its newer variant,
Mm-hmm.
and found a great team to you know rewrite all that code that we needed. And I mean, these guys are blowing it out of the water,
Mm-hmm.
and it that makes everything possible.
Yeah.
Without that, you know, in the beginning we were processing orders one at a time on FedEx.com.
Mm-hmm.
We have to type in the. I was here for that. We had to type out the delivery address and make a bunch of selections. Now, with a
Mm-hmm.
click of a button, all the pending orders that are waiting to go out today get transported over to ShipStation,
Mm-hmm.
which is an asset, and
Yeah.
that makes everything possible. That just
Right.
starts pumping out all the orders, and we give it to our production team, and off they go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how, just finally like solutions come about and it just solves like one thing and it saves you so much time. Like, thank you, just print the labels so I don't
Yeah.
have to do this manually. But you bring up a really good point about SaaS and kind of off the shelf software and e-commerce, because we get a lot of questions from businesses say, well, we want to use Shopify, or we want to, can I sell through Squarespace, or whatever platform it is. And I have to tell people so often, like, well, that may work for a very short period of time, But as soon as
Right.
you want to do something else that is, custom to your business, now you're
Right.
starting the conversation all over because,
Yeah.
like you said, custom
That
code. So,
that's exactly it. And if those platforms offered customization, that would have been great. That would have been
mm-hmm,
fine. And to be fair, maybe it was just the development team that we chose to put us on that platform. You know, didn't meet the requirements that we needed.
mm-hmm,
Um, but it just doesn't seem that way. If it would seem to be locked doors every which way we turned with that
uh-huh,
online platform.
yeah,
And for us, it made more sense to go to a custom solution.
yeah,
I wish it was possible to work with something off the shelf that would
right,
automatically update with security fixes and all that stuff. But right now,
yeah,
no complaints.
yeah,
So
yeah. Because either you're going to build your business around the software, or you're going to build the software around your business. But yeah, you have to pick
right,
one.
exactly.
So,
So
and with the history and length of your business and all the different components, yeah, it's too hard to fit that square peg into the round hole. So
right, no, it's not possible.
yeah. So, you mentioned, offering new products on the G&M website. Where do you kind of see the evolution of the business going between both the restaurant and the e-commerce?
Well, again, we've never really had any interest in more storefronts.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned earlier, the
Yeah.
restaurant life is not easy. I
Yeah.
have a very understanding wife and two lovely children at home that I love spending time with. So
Mm-hmm.
to add more to that side of the plate,
Yeah.
just like my counterparts here at the restaurant, we hope to keep growing the online
Mm-hmm.
business and offering the same great customer support to our online customers and in-store customers.
Yeah.
And really, it's just see what other products we can bring to the table to bring
Mm-hmm.
that can reliably be shipped overnight and
Right.
still offer the same great taste.
Yeah.
Because we've had plenty of offers and requests to wholesale our products, but
Mm-hmm.
what happens if we start giving tubs of this crab meat out to people that
Yeah.
will store it improperly, or we can't control how the finished product will get to
Mm-hmm.
the end user's table. And if they see the G&M name stamped next to that
Yeah.
product on the menu in Florida, but
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason, a tub of that stuff, our crab meat has been sitting in the refrigerator for a week, which
Yeah.
is not possible. You know, we don't want to do all that. We don't want
Right.
to, disappoint customers, and we want to make sure that we have our hands on from production to the end user, and can control that quality. And yeah,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, yes, like you said, your brand, your history, your name is a huge component of your success. So being
right.
careful with that is really important. I want to bring up before we wrap up today, you're now offering gluten-free crab cakes. This is a brand new offering.
Yes,
Yes,
finally, and
you
it took
finally.
so long. It took so long. We've had so many requests, and we don't like disappointing customers.
Mhm.
But we wanted to get it right. So the gluten free crab cakes do have to be frozen,
Mhm.
unfortunately, and we do ship those frozen. But now they're all available all over the country and for pickup here in the store.
Yeah.
So and it's been, I mean, we've been blown away by the responses. We make them in small batches to keep the quality high.
Hmm.
uh, because we want our customers to get the freshest product possible,
Yeah.
and they're just flying off the shelf. So we've
Yeah.
been very happy with that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of
So,
demand for that. So I'm sure now families can rejoice that they can eat together and have their gluten-free
yeah,
crab cakes and separate from the regular crab cakes. So yeah, and I think the last thing I wanted to bring up too, like you said, uh, you get a lot of requests for different products, and when it comes to the logistics of the business side of offering new products, people just think, oh, well, just start selling it online. What's the big deal? Throw it in the box. But there's so many things you have to
it's
think
not.
about. Yeah. So tell us
Yeah,
about just the process you go through when you're considering new things like that.
so again, on a day to day basis, when it's a couple hundred orders, it's easy for our packing team to look at each individual order, because we have a bunch of packages that are 4 8 ounce crab cakes, or 10 8 ounce crab cakes, or two soups, two crab cakes. Those packages are easy. It's the complicated packages that not slow us down, but we want to make sure they're right. And
Mm-hmm.
they take more attention from the packing team. to make sure that the products are correctly placed in the box, and that way they don't move around and potentially break or get tossed around in transit. So when we add a new product, we want to make sure that it's logistically possible, not only for the days where it's low volume for us that we can guarantee to get it right, but when it's, two tractor trailers full of products in the holidays, we don't want that to slow us down and not be and limit us in providing our products to the customers that want to order them that time of year. So sometimes in the holidays, we'll remove some of the more labor intensive um, products from our menu, the 2-ounce crab balls and the 4-ounce crab cakes, because if with the new bulk tubs that we've been offering for the past couple of years now, customers can make the same products themselves.
Yes, right.
We can make those products faster. We can pack more boxes to meet the demand requirements from our customers. So it's a balance. We don't want to disappoint people by taking stuff off the menu during the holidays, but we want to make sure more people are happy. And if they give us a chance, email us with those concerns. Hey, I really wanted those 4-ounce crab cakes. We always respond back. We're like, hey, we took them off for the holiday season, but our bulk packaging offers you value there. You make whatever size you want in the quantities you want, and they're very understanding if they give us a chance to explain. But there's only so much you can, put out there on the website and text. You don't want to
easy
overload
to
the
skip
customers.
over. Yeah.
So, yep.
Anything else about the G&M story that you'd like to share with us today before we wrap up?
I mean, no, it's just the whole family here is hands on. There's always somebody here guaranteeing that the brand and the products and the experience is how customers have come to appreciate it. And call it old school, call it whatever you want to call it. That's our secret. We take pride in what we do, and we love it.
Yeah, well, it absolutely is a Maryland tradition, and it's very exciting that it is available to share that tradition across the whole country. So for those of you who have never tried G&M crab cakes, not just because I know them well, but I do recommend trying them out. And so Dimitri, just share with us where everybody can find G&M online.
So the website's gandmrestaurant.com, gandmrestaurant.com. We're on all different social media platforms. And we're on the corner of Hammonds Ferry and Nursery Road here in Linthicum, Maryland. So stop by, ask for the tall guy.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. And we will talk soon. So we
All right,
appreciate your time
absolutely.
today. Thank you.
Thank you. Good talking to you.